hearts of men, even mighty men such as Sir Gavino, who was at one time a fierce enemy of the prince and his followers. During these waiting years, we travelled to the far reaches of the kingdom, endured many hardships, and saw strange happenings of all sorts. But those tales are for another day. Eventually, the prince came back for us, for all the knights of the prince and for those who were loyal to him. He took us across the great sea to be with him and the king. It was a reprieve from the persecution that was mounting in the end days. But it was not the end of our mission as his knights. It was the beginning of a new mission. It is on that voyage home to the kingdom across the sea that my story resumes. Upon my steed, as we await the massive evil force that comes to destroy our beloved city, there is a final moment to reflect back on my away years. Years that bring understanding to this impending battle. I remember the night that Keith, a mighty silent warrior, awakened me from a deep sleep to board the ships that would take us home. The prince came to gather his people and take us across the great sea to be with the king. My encounter with the prince was by far the most life-changing event I have ever experienced. Seeing him alive again after witnessing his death was the most kingdom-shaking event I have ever experienced. But perhaps the strangest moment in my life was when I encountered an old friend. Chapter 1. The Journey Home. I left the prince's embrace to board one of the many ships that waited to take us across the great sea. For a time, my mission in Arrethtrae was complete. I had yearned to reunite with the one who gave me purpose in life. I had worked to serve him with honor and faithfulness while he was away, and he gave me the words I craved. Well done, Cedric. Well done. Like a man arriving home after a long journey, I found rest in his words and in his embrace. The prince first came to Arrethtrae to save the kingdom and change the hearts of the people. There is no other like him, no other who is worthy of the loyal service of all. The son of the king came as a peasant and served us before we could serve him. His nature is pure and his heart compassionate. His words are wise and his vision sure. I will follow him to death if need be, but I know in my heart of hearts that he will lead us only to life. The road has not and will not be easy, but I will follow, for he is great and his plans are grand. The ships we boarded were gallant, three-masted vessels with a full rigging of sails that beckoned the wind from a dozen seas to carry them into their waters. They were sturdy, yet built for speed. The main deck of each ship was over 30 paces from stem to stern, with a quarter-deck and a half-deck above. A lower deck provided space for supplies and for most of the passengers. All of the ship's crews were comprised of silent warriors who were very experienced seamen. Conversation with the crew was limited, for they assumed their duties on board with the utmost diligence. On the main deck of my ship, I searched the faces of my many companions. I looked for William, my lifelong friend, but I discovered that he had boarded another ship, as had Rob and Barrett. Commanded to be silent, for the entire kingdom was asleep and the exodus of the knights of the prince and his people was not complete, I smiled and nodded my greetings to my fellow workers who sat upon the deck. We were going home. It sounded strange, yet felt perfect, for this home was a place we had never been, but the king awaited us there. What will this great kingdom be like? I wondered. Our ship launched out into the sea, and I found a place of solitude near the bow beneath the foresail. The wind in my face and the sound of the waves breaking on the bow took me back to a time when I was a fisherman, before I ever